So, like we were discussing about, make or buy decision, and we discussed that a cost accountant is an expert to guide the management of a company or director whether to manufacture the product or buy the components from China and assemble it in India. In what ways the cost is going to be less? Because at the end of the day, the company should look for profits. But see, there are companies with different agendas. If I say Apple, Apple is a company, we can say why Apple does so much of it takes so much of stress for making the hardware or even like software, even apps. Why they do that? Why they want to build everything? The OS, operating system. See, in Apple phones, there's a operating system which is made by Apple. Hardware are made by them. Softwares are made by them. Apps are made by them. But you see Samsung. In Samsung, all the software is of Android. Hardware they make apps. Third party apps are there. So different companies have different strategies. But at the end, what matters is whether to manufacture or to buy. So this is the cost accountant who is going to give guidance for that reason, and how he gives that guidance. See, he is not some magician who is just going to say, no, no, you make it or you buy it. I can do some fortune telling. No, he is the one who is an expert, and he has to convince the director with his report, and that report should be convincing one. And in the sense, these guys, these cost accountants are all experts. This is their task which they perform on routine basis of ascertaining the cost of a product. So they would make a cost sheet. And what does a cost sheet look like or look about? Let's see. So let's start a cost sheet. So they start with raw material, opening stock of raw materials, add purchase of raw material, so we started with opening stock of raw material, add purchase of raw material, less closing stock of raw material. You can note this down. It's very important cost sheet. And you don't think that today's topic I'm going to take you to the textbook directly. First, I'm going to give you a base of this. After like making your basics strong, then the first chapter itself would become very simple and easy for you. For that reason, first you should learn what basics I'm giving you. Okay. So I'm just explaining you how to make a cost sheet, and based upon this format what I'm giving, you should be in a position to make a cost sheet. So we start with the opening stock of raw. Of course, when you make a product, like if I say about electric bike, so first and foremost thing is what comes into picture? Raw material. So you'll be having some raw metal with you, and then you'll be like purchasing raw metal if required. Then you'll be like whatever the closing stock of raw metal are there, you're not going to use. Of course, that is leftover thing for you. So you're going to deduct it. And then you have raw material consumed. After getting this raw metal consumed, you have then this one, add direct material, add direct material and direct wages. You have prime cost. So till prime cost, everything is direct. Okay. So prime, after getting prime cost, Now you have see here, you can carefully see I'm speaking about raw material, purchase of raw material, closing stock of raw material. We have raw material consumed, direct material, direct wages, prime cost, and then we have like this, what we say, manufacturing overheads. Okay. So when I'm speaking about add all the factory expenses or manufacturing overheads, factory rent. When I speak about overheads, I'm speaking about indirect cost. So from here, indirect cost comes into picture. Indirect cost is nothing but the cost which you are not incurring directly for making the product. You are incurring indirectly. There is a factory. This factory has machine. This factory has machine. There are some laborers who are directly working on this machine. So those laborers are paid wages. That can be a direct expense. This factory is given security by a security guard, or to some extent you can say supervisor is there to supervise. He is not directly working on machine. So what we pay to them are called indirect wages, okay, or indirect expenses or overheads. So factory rent, factory insurance, I can give you a number of expenses, but I would not write all. Then you have opening work in progress. Then you have to subtract closing work in progress. Okay, and then you have factory cost or works cost. Then you have to add all the, so you can make a note of this till here. I'll go ahead. Please make a note of this format fast. Okay. Everyone has done. So I'll move forward. Please tell me. Hello.
Just 2 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. If done, please confirm so I can move for the next point in this. Hello. Can all of you confirm me?
Yes, sir, completed.
Oh, yes, madam. Like everyone has done, so I'll move forward.
Yes.
Yeah. So now factory cost is what we have got. Now we'll be moving forward. I'll take factory cost here. Then we will add office overheads or indirect expenses of office like office rent. All these overheads would be a total amount, okay, lump sum amount, and this is all estimation what he is doing. He is not ascertaining the ascertainment of the cost can happen before the project should be like commenced, okay. Before commencing the project, the assessment should be done and the estimation should be done. So he is the one who is going to estimate the cost of that particular electric bike and give the suggestion. Based on that, the management or director would decide. So office rent, printing and stationery, postage and telegram, and all the other like audit fees, salaries, etc. You can take up that one. We get cost of production. Then we can add opening stock of finished goods, less closing stock of finished goods. Opening stock of finished goods, closing stock of finished goods. We get cost of goods sold. After getting cost of goods sold, we would get like selling and distribution overheads. Selling and distribution heads, then we would get add selling and distribution overheads, then we would get total cost. So cost of goods sold, selling and distribution overheads, we get total cost, then we get sales, and then we get profit. So sales minus total cost is profit, okay? Just make a note of this. So here till here, suppose if we get the total cost as 1 lakh, if we get the total cost as 1 lakh, and we want to make 1,000 units, let's say. So we will divide with 1,000. So what we get is 1 lakh is what is the total cost, and 1,000 units we want to make. Okay, so one bike is going to cost us how much? $100. One bike is going to cost us $100. See, fine, 1 lakh is the total cost of 1,000 bikes what we want to make. So 1 lakh is the total cost. 1,000 units is what we want to make. One bike is costing us $100. If we get components from China and we can get the components and we can assemble for $80, then we can seriously think of uh, like uh, like getting the components from China and assembling it rather than making it. Okay, so we can buy it rather than making it. I think you got it. So if you make it, it is going to cost you $100. If you buy it, it's going to cost you $80. So what do you think would be a better option? Buying. If at all it's going to cost you $120, if you kind of buy the components from China. If you buy the components from China, it's going to cost you how much? $120. So what is the good option? It is better to make or buy? It's better to make. So make, buy. If it's going to cost $100 and if it's going to cost $80 to buy, we'll buy rather than make. If it's going to cost $100 and $120 to buy, so we will definitely gonna make. Okay, so please note this down. हाँ कुछ ही 7 के आ गया आ गया यस राइट थैंक यू सो मच थैंक यू. So once done this one also, we can go ahead. So if finished, please confirm me. I can move forward.
Yes, sir. Done.
Yes, done.
Okay. Now, so let's go ahead and then we can see some points here in the textbook even. So the cost accountant is also the one who is supposed to do the cost management. Okay. What is meant by cost management? He is the one who is going to manage the costs and he can look forward to like reduce the unnecessary cost. Okay. Where there's a wastage of money, he can track the cost and provide some tips and points or some information for the management to take some crucial decisions. Okay, and he is the one who is going to evaluate the operating performance and like be a part of strategic planning. So effectiveness and efficiency are the two important aspects what everyone wants. So an effective operation is one that achieves or exceeds the goals set for the operation. Maximizing shareholder value is the primary goal for every organization. Effectiveness in reaching its goals can be measured by analyzing the firm's effectiveness in attaining its critical success factors, of course. Critical success factors may be a desired level of operating income, an increase in market share. Of course, what is a critical success factor? The success factors for a company or a firm to become successful, it is very important that they should achieve the incomes what they wanted to achieve, what they desire. They have to increase their market share. They should introduce new products and also a return on investment. Okay, master budget states the desired operating income for the period and comparing actual result with the planned result. So what the master budget does, whatever the operating income you have estimated or you have desired, you definitely want to earn that, and you definitely want to see yourself at that position or earn that what you have desired, and you want to compare that with the actual results. That's what you want to do. That would show whether you have really achieved the goal what you have set or not. And also efficient operation, that is one that makes effective use of the resources in carrying out the operation. So how well you use the resources to carry out your operations, okay, and to achieve your goals. So if a firm attains its goal of increasing sales but it spends more of its resources than necessary, so you want to achieve what you want but you are spending more for that, then it is not an effective way of achieving what you have desired. It's not efficient also. So for example, if you have taken a car and that car is, the company is like promising you a mileage of 20 kilometers for 1 liter and it's giving just 12 kilometers, so it's not efficient. So you should go for some more fuel efficient car, correct? So effectiveness and efficiency is very important. Classification of costs. So cost is something which is different from expense. See, every cost, every expense is a cost, but every cost is not a expense. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? Every expense is a cost. So what do you mean by every expense? See, not all the costs are expenses. What do you mean by an expense? Some costs which you can show, some costs which you can show in the statement of profit or loss are definitely expense. Some costs which you can post in the profit or loss account or statement of profit or loss is a expense. But not every kind of expense can be shown in the statement of profit or loss or profit and loss account. Okay, for example, what you can show in the statement of profit or loss or profit or loss account is the cost, which is like a monetary cost. That means where or which is of financial nature, cost of financial nature, that you can show in your statement of profit or loss or profit or loss account. Okay, but if I speak about opportunity cost, can you show this opportunity cost in your statement of profit or loss? No, it's a cost of non-financial nature. So not every cost can be shown in the statement of profit or loss or profit or loss account. Only the financial nature cost can be shown. So this particular cost, which is of financial nature, which can be shown in the statement of profit or loss or P&L account, are nothing but expenses. But other than that, whatever is of non-financial nature, what you cannot show in the P&L account is not a expense, but it is still a cost. Okay. Product cost versus period cost. Product cost is nothing but the one which is of direct nature or manufacturing cost. Direct nature or manufacturing cost. Okay, so I can take material, which is a direct nature cost, labor, direct nature cost, and manufacturing overheads, which is a indirect nature cost, but still that you are incurring for manufacturing the product. Okay, that you're incurring for manufacturing the product. So for manufacturing the product, you use direct material, you use direct labor and manufacturing overheads. So, and manufacturing overheads can be fixed and variable, can be fixed or of variable nature. Okay, manufacturing overheads can be of fixed or variable nature. So these are all product cost or inventoriable cost, which are included in the product. Conversion cost, if I have to say direct material, direct labor and manufacturing overheads, these are all product cost. And in that, these two are what? Conversion cost. These two are conversion cost. Okay, especially because these two are involved in converting the raw material into finished goods. So these are the product cost, labor, material, manufacturing overhead. this and this, even the indirect labor and indirect material. Okay, what do you mean by indirect labor, indirect material? These are also the cost which you are going to incur, but they are not of direct nature, they're indirect nature. Why? Because a labor, as I said, for unloading and loading purposes, or in working in some other department but not directly involved in manufacturing, but still like he is important to the company. Okay, like you can see here, indirect labor is labor that is a part of production process but not directly involved in manufacturing process. He is like assisting the manufacturing process. Like I said, the security guard of the factory. Security guard of the factory is what? He is the one who is giving security to the factory. He is the one who is giving the security to the factory, even though he is not directly involved in the production process, but he is supporting the production process. Okay. And then comes the indirect material like screw, nail, glue. All these are not the ones which you'll be using for production purpose, but still these are important for functioning of the machinery. So we can make grouping of product costs. Prime and uh,
Hello. Hello, sir.